Hi there, so today is going to be a little bit different just because today was the APPG All-Party Parliamentary Group update on endometriosis care in the UK, and I attended that this evening, but I kind of made a decision that because I never posted any of the footage of my time in London this time last year when I went to Westminster to go do the APPG Inquiry back before COVID fully kicked off and everything, I figured now would be a good time to do that. So actually this vlog comes to you a year later, so it's a bit of a flashback, but I hope you enjoy it. And it's just really weird looking back at the footage from London a year ago and seeing like being able to go to fitness classes, being able to go to cafes, to West End, so it's pretty wild. And I do talk a bit about the inquiry and how that went, which I meant to do a year ago, but here we are, and then I'll update you on what happened this evening at the end. See you soon. Right, okay, that's me way down to London. I'm running late, so I'm just gonna say hello and then off we go. Bye. Right, so that is me in London. I am finally here. That train was late, but it went really well. My hosts are really good, so they're a lovely couple. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and get some tea for them and Mason, and maybe some macaroons. Bye. Not going to be able to hear me, but I got the blue sapphire latte. It is my favorite. It is way too bougie because it has actual crushed sapphires, but I have no regrets. So yesterday was a really long day. I had to get up really early and get the train, and then I got in, checked in at my Airbnb. It's lovely. Got some tea. I went to EL&N Cafe for their sapphire blue latte because I'm ridiculous. Then I went to see Dear Evan Hansen. It was really good. The seat I was in was insane. Hopefully it shows up well on video because it was just like scary. This morning I have an 8 o'clock class at Define Bar. When I'm in London I like to try to go there because it's the closest thing that I've found in the UK to Pure Bar, and come back and get ready so I can go and get my hair done and my face. I need to figure out how to get creases out of my suit because there's no iron. Yeah, that's my morning. I'm really tired still. So I need to leave soon, and I changed back into pajamas because I was trying to iron my clothes. There's not an iron, so I hung them up in the shower while I showered. It didn't do anything. I took a pot of boiling water and then emptied the pot and used the base of the pot. It didn't do anything. And then I took a kettle and like tried to hold the steam over my clothes, and I ended up spilling hot water all down my trousers. So now I've got them like hanging on the radiator to try to dry them. I need to leave in like 10 minutes. But other than that, this morning has been nice. I went to Define Fitness. It was apparently their 2nd birthday, and so they were like, oh, one person in this room is gonna get, you know, a free Sweaty Buddy gift bag, and I got picked, and I never get picked for anything, so that was really cool, and a great way to like start the morning. So I got like a shirt and a bunch of like snacks, which is great. Also like £15 to use a Sweaty Buddy, which is great because I love their leggings. Their 3/4 inch actually fits me all the way down. So they're full-size leggings for me, but not normal people. Anyways, I'm trying to finish writing my testimonial and like rehearsing it as well, because right now, even when I slow it down, it's 3 minutes long, so it's supposed to be about 5. And I know that there's more I could say, but it's just finding an eloquent way to say it. So I think I've done a really bad job vlogging on this trip. Part of it is like privacy. I'm in a very small Airbnb, so I'm talking quite quiet. But also it's just been so busy. I mean, I knew it would be, but I kind of did that to myself. So I haven't really had a chance to like pause and think about everything. I was really nervous this morning, but like I said earlier, went to Define Bar, did some exercise, which I wasn't feeling then, but oh my gosh, I'm starting to feel it, and I'm really worried because I have it tomorrow morning at 8. Yeah, I was just really like stressed about things like giving my talk today, and I didn't really realize that like the other 2 women who were giving testimonials was kind of more of a informal, like they just said, you know, like what their experience was, their history and things, whereas I like wrote a testimonial because that's just how my brain works, which I'm really glad that I did in hindsight, because I ended up getting a migraine like mid session, so that was really difficult, because I mean, even my friend Oliver noticed that like I just stopped talking because it was just like I was just trying to focus on not vomiting. That was quite bad, but it went really well, and I think there was a lot of passion obviously in the room. You know, it's a very sensitive topic to everyone. I'm glad that I got the chance to kind of say my piece, and I'm glad that like I was given the opportunity to prepare for it ahead of time by like putting a testimonial together. Emma Hardy, who was the MP who was overseeing this, was really good about making sure everyone was heard. So even though there were 3 of us that were kind of selected to give testimonials, she went around and made sure that everyone in the room got to say their piece, which I thought was stellar. Like, that's incredible, especially in such like a constricted time frame. I think we covered most all of the points that everyone wanted to get out there. And I mean, there's talk of good things happening. You know, there being more research, like wanting the UK to kind of lead the way in research on endometriosis, you know, causes and, you know, cure as well. It's nice to hear that they're prioritizing that, or at least trying to push for a prioritization of that with like menstrual education, mental health, well-being education in schools. That's a thing. That was kind of what I pushed for with kind of what I've said, but there was also, you know, emphasis on inclusivity, which is good because so much of the talk around things that have to do with the female anatomy, you know, are just labeled as women's health, which that in itself creates a bias, like an even unspoken bias against how seriously it gets taken and how much funding goes towards it. But on top of that, it excludes non-binary, transgender people who are also dealing with conditions that affect, you know, that part of their anatomy. So it needs to be a more inclusive space. Everybody needs to feel comfortable and like they can talk and process and have the same care. Also, you know, the race issue was something that was brought up, so race and gender in regards to inclusivity with endometriosis. But other than that, yeah, I'll post about it some other time because my brain is just not functioning. And then I went and saw Waitress, which was great. Gavin Creel, who was the kind of male lead in it, he was a guest singer instructor at Show Choir Camps of America in Tiffin, Ohio in 2008, and that was really cool to see him again because I'd seen him back then. So I said that to him afterwards, you know, went to the stage door, and he was like, oh, we've aged well. Like, look at us. Like, yeah. I wasn't able to get any pictures or video of that. They're being very protective because of coronavirus, which is, you know, fair enough. Their job is their voice, so they can't take any risks. And it was just great to have them come through and, you know, sign autographs. It was quite an emotional thing to watch after going through the inquiry today, because obviously, you know, childbirth is an aspect of it, and fertility was a very heavily discussed topic at the inquiry. So, and it's something that's on my mind a lot. So yeah, that was to get a bit teary, but it was beautiful. And Sarah Bareilles, my god, like, so no, it's fantabulous. Wow, I need to go to bed. Good morning. I am so sore and tired, but I am going to my 8 AM Define class. Said I would. Gonna do it. It's gonna happen. And then I need to come back and pack up my disaster and take my bag to somewhere to hold it near Euston while I go and do filming. So busy day again. I don't think I get into Glasgow until midnight, so long one. Hopefully this energizes me and I stay awake. So now you've kind of gotten an insight into, a very tired insight into what happened last year at the APPG Inquiry. Tonight, it was a really good update on what's going on, what is still in the works. Essentially, the key takeaway is that we really want to drive down diagnosis time. 8 years, far too long, and it's even longer than that in some parts of the UK. So I think the goal was to drive it down to 4 years or less by 2025, and then 1 year or less by 2030. So the best way to make that happen is to write to your MPs, let them know about your diagnosis times, let them know that it's not okay that they've taken that long, and advocate for them to get involved with the inquiry and the work that's going on. Another big part, which is something that I think I've talked about on here before, is the menstrual education. In England that passed, but it has not in Wales, Northern Ireland, or in Scotland. Gain menstrual education in schools so that students actually know about things like periods, like menstrual conditions, so that you know when to go to the doctor and when to say like this is not normal and what normal even is. Those were kind of the main takeaways, as well as making sure that employers are making space for people with endometriosis within the work environment and not making it impossible for them to go to their employer if they've got to have surgeries or something's going on with them, making endometriosis not become an issue so that you can't get a job or you can't keep a job. So that's quite good to hear on that front as well. There's also a lot of talk about the intersectionality that we need to be striving for when talking about endometriosis, and the inclusivity that we do not yet have in a lot of what is going out into the media, what is being talked about. I mean, I feel like I'm sitting here talking to my small little world of people, but there's so many more stories out there, so many more perspectives on what this condition is like for people to try to manage, to try to get help and feel comfortable and safe in the spaces that we create when it comes to endometriosis. So I think we have a long way to go there. I mean, I know we have a long way to go there based on what was said today. That's about it for me today. I know that this wasn't really a look into like my day today, but I promise you it was quite boring. So tomorrow I will be back videoing around what is going on here, but I thought you would appreciate this look into a year ago and seeing what was happening then. But I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye!